everyone, and welcome to Taipei. Situated in the heart of East Asia, Taiwan is a small, mountainous island with a rich and complex culture. Influenced by over a dozen native tribes, 5 decades of Japanese rule, and of course, China, its closest and most complicated relationship. How exactly does Taiwan's relationship with China impact its cultural scene? That's what we'll explore in part 1 of this special edition of Arts 24 in Taipei.
I am Emily Waiwu from Ghost Island Media. I produce podcasts and TV. When Taiwan came out of martial law in 1987, all of a sudden there was free speech. It was a beautiful thing. Right? Back then you had songs that were banned. You had political cartoons that were banned. The history that you learned in Taiwan was not Taiwan, it was what happened in China. And so all of a sudden we had this freedom to re-examine our own and to learn about our own. And I would say this generation really, it is embracing that identity, that diversity.
When it comes to affirming Taiwanese identity, there's one group that likes to scream it loud and clear. Chthonic is Taiwan's leading heavy metal group. Its frontman, Freddie Lim, has somewhat of a double life. On stage, he's full-on goth. But during the week, you can find him in a more official setting.
Hello.
Hi, Freddie.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you for having us. So good to meet you. You look a little different without makeup, but I do recognize you, though.
Yes. And this is my office.
Not exactly what I expected for a politician. You've got David Bowie.
Yeah, one of my favorite rock stars. So yeah, we need to have him. And also this is my meeting room, the giant poster over there. That's the concert for my campaign for the second term.
Freddie was elected to Taiwan's parliament in 2016 and has been one of the loudest voices defending the island's sovereignty.
This is my office.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, again, not what I expected. Yeah, I recognize him, the Dalai Lama.
Yes.
Yeah, a symbol of Tibetan resistance against China. How do you think the Chinese government would feel about this?
I think this is the office that they hate most in this building, I think. And there are a lot of Tibetan refugees visit this office. I thought they came to visit me, but actually they want to have a photo with His Holiness.
And Freddie, as a legislator, just can you clarify, what is your stance on China and on Taiwan's independence?
I think I'm just like one of the Taiwanese young people that we want to stand for the Taiwanese sovereignty. We want to keep Taiwan independent and free. So we want to protect what we have. We want to be a part of the democratic world.
Taiwan's relationship with China is a key issue in Taiwanese politics, so it's probably a good idea to get a quick refresher. Taiwan has been governed independently from China since 1949, when Mao Zedong's Communist Party took power on the mainland. Mao's rival, Chiang Kai-shek, the leader of the nationalist Kuomintang Party, or KMT, fled to Taiwan and established his own government there. For years, both claimed to be China's legitimate representative. Today, Taiwan's international status remains complicated. It has no seat at the UN and is only recognized by a handful of countries. In 1992, Taipei and Beijing agreed on a consensus that includes the vague concept of one China. It allows Taiwan to keep its ambiguous status, no formal independence, but no invasion from Beijing. 30 years later, tension is back at a high. Current Chinese leader Xi Jinping has vowed to reintegrate Taiwan by force if necessary. And do you think there's a generational divide in Taiwan when it comes to China?
The older folks, they used to not really quite sure about what they stand for because they used to educated by the KMT government, the authoritarian government in Taiwan that tried to brainwash them that Taiwan is a part of China. But after the democratic movements in our generation or even the younger generation, we identify ourselves naturally as Taiwanese.
Do you feel culturally close to China?
I think some parts of the culture is quite close to China. A lot of countries share some kinds of same culture, but have their own taste.
Let's talk about your music, Freddie. What kind of issues do your songs talk about? How do you describe them?
Basically, my songs are inspired by the histories and mythologies of Taiwan. So some of the critics, they read between the lines of my lyrics that to find the political messages. But actually, when I'm writing songs with my guitarist, we don't talk about politics at all. We talk about how to make the song metal, heavy.
And what is it about metal music that you were drawn to? Is there something kind of political about it?
Actually, I think it's more about rebel, more about how to stand for what you believe and how to fight against the system. I think in Taiwan, as the Taiwanese, we have our own destiny, that our own cause that we want to fight against, we want to stand for. The dictators in Asia said that the universal human rights are not belongs to the Asian people. We are fighting against that. We have the rights to embrace the rights that we deserve. That's our power. That's the concept of our metal.
While Freddie affirms Taiwanese values with power chords, Taiwan-based artists Namewee and Kimberly Chen send their message with a love song.
说的话你从来都不想听，却又滔滔不绝出征反击。不明白到底入了你哪里，总觉得世界与你为敌。
Their viral 2021 duet Fragile is about an ex-lover refusing to accept a breakup, but Taiwanese listeners saw a clear allusion to their possessive neighbor.
Rarely do you have songs that call out the absurdity of China's aggression on Taiwan. And so that song became so popular, it became so viral. It was liberating to hear them call out China in that way.
大家好，我有话想对大家说。
But asserting Taiwanese identity doesn't come without risk.
One of the times that really gave Taiwan a big shock was 2016. So in K-pop, Korean pop, hugely popular around the world. Amongst there's one group called Twice, and there's a Taiwanese woman in there called Zhou Ziyu. Twice had a music video where all of the members held up the flags from where they're from. And so Zhou Ziyu held up the flag of this Republic of China, Taiwan flag. She was made to apologize to China. She looked pale, she looked like a prisoner. It looked like she was a hostage.
Taipei's Golden Horse Film Festival and Awards are considered the Oscars of Chinese language cinema. The head of the jury for the 60th edition was one of Taiwan's most famous directors, Ang Lee, a two-time winner of the Academy Award for Best Director for Brokeback Mountain and The Life of Pi.
I'm here for Xu Guanghan. I'm his fan, he's very handsome.
This year, my favorite movie is Marry My Dead Body. I find it very well done. It's a same-sex love story.
Even on the red carpet, politics sometimes steal the spotlight. In 2018, the Taiwanese director who won the Golden Horse Award for Best Documentary made a pro-independence speech, and China ordered its film industry to boycott the event the following years.
China took this opportunity, and it was a ban for Chinese artists to come to Taiwan. They didn't want them to come.
In 2023, some Chinese stars were back on the red carpet. The Golden Horse Festival remains a key showcase for the region's filmmakers, And regardless of geopolitical tension, Taiwanese producers continue to work with China.
Hi, my name is Patrick Mao Huang. I'm a producer and distributor based in Taiwan. Box office-wise, China always has a potential, but sometimes some of the film you want to talk about, you want to tell, may not be officially released in China. You have to pass the censorship, for example. So I think that we just have to work around that, and sometimes you have to compromise maybe a little bit about the story, about the character, about the language, but also at the same time, you just have to give up the market because maybe you just don't follow, don't comply the policy.
Language-wise, it's predominantly Mandarin. So many people would want to have a lot of audience in China. There's a lot of mainstream artists who try to walk that line very carefully because they rely on the China market. And so there is a lot of self-censorship that happens.
Looking to move away from reliance on the Chinese market and expand its cultural influence, Taiwan established the Creative Content Agency, or TAICA, in 2019. It encourages international co-productions. Films like Tiger Stripes, which won the grand prize at the Cannes Film Festival's Critics Week last year. It was co-produced by Taiwan, Malaysia, and 6 other countries.
As a producer, I'm doing a lot of co-production. Right now, the country I work with maybe more than 20 countries already. Most of them from Europe, almost all the countries from Europe, and the Southeast Asia, South Asia, including Bangladesh and India as well. So my job is really to tell the story around the world.
What are your hopes and fears for the future of Taiwan and for Taiwanese artists?
I hope that they can see why we can have so beautiful artworks in this island and can show to the world. That's because we have all these freedoms. So you have to embrace that.
Every artist here, we see them working on kind of bring the best they can to that particular art. And I'm excited to see what more is going to come.
A sense of freedom has been key to shaping Taiwan's art scene. In part 2 of our special edition, we explore how commitment to democratic values has contributed to the island's unique cultural identity, from its vibrant LGBTQ scene to its feminist and indigenous voices.